would just fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay. So I had a dream that I'd just fly away, away. Oh,
Projectors, welcome home. I am Amy Elizabeth, and I am so excited to be leading you through Projector Power Paradigm as projectors unite. This round of PPP is the most powerful and potent round I have ever run. What I have understood about myself as a projector in power and rising is life-changing for you guys. So I am so excited to be able to provide this opportunity for each and every one of you to dive deep into who we really are and to finally understand yourself, to see yourself, to trust yourself, and to activate more power than you have ever felt in your entire life. From this moment on, there's no going back to the old you. So many of you projectors have been going through these identity shifts and really been creating a new identity, which is your true form of identity, your true authentic self. And throughout PPP, this is going to be the support that you have been looking for in order for you to fully trust yourself in that transformation. So I am so honored and so grateful that each and every one of you are here, that you are going to be diving into the depths of the ocean with me, and that we are going to be pulling up who you really are, your soul, and be bringing it to the surface to be fully visible so you can fly and fly and fly away. To freedom, to wealth, to abundance, to power, to ease, to effortlessness, to sexy, to compassion and empathy and understanding, to impact, and obviously always income. So today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be understanding the authorities. Throughout the next week, there's going to be every couple days some pre-work that is going to be dropped inside the group. As a projector, I'm very conscious of forming our projector power paradigm in all of the projector E's. So you have an additional 30 days after the last call that we have together to be accessing all of the materials. If you can be at the lives, I highly suggest you be there. If you cannot, I want you to take the pressure off yourself and to really understand and know that the more you focus during those calls, the more you're going to get out of it. So whenever you need to rearrange to watch the replay, you do that. Now, part of us uniting together as projectors is because the power that we instill in ourselves, the trust that we develop, and who we are really born to be comes from us uniting. So if you see another projector inside our group post something that you resonate with, that you see, that you feel, that you understand, that you want to know that, they're not alone, I urge you to at least hit that love button. If you feel that you can provide a comment, please do so. Because us uniting and really understanding each other is going to create not only a bond, but an ability for you to be like, this is right, this is normal. How I have felt is how these women are feeling. Who I am is so similar to who they are. And when we have that courage and confidence and trust behind us, anything is possible. So we are going to learn inside this group to finally see who you really are, to leverage your energy, and to become the most powerful you've ever been before. You are going to do that without leaking energy, without needing to do more, with being able to hold more in your personal projector power. What we are focusing inside this container is not just power. It is not situational power. It is not circumstantial power. It is personal power. When we are able to hold and really extend our projector personal power, we become unstoppable. there is not a moment in time that will overtake us. We are able to live and lead through all of the challenges of life with so much ease because of our personal projector power. So inside this container, you are going to see, feel, and finally understand what that means for you. You are going to unite the soul with the human, and you are going to let that powerful, unique, visionary come to life. Inside this group is where all of these shifts begin, is where you go through the transformation and you come out on the other side of this program different in all of the best ways. More powerful, more trust, more confidence, more ease, sexier, more compassionate, holding more empathy. And others are going to see and feel and recognize and desire your power. Right now, we are in the realm, the time and space of New Age leadership. Now, it is not only New Age leadership, it is the entire collective worldwide that is ready to change and shift. We are ready to unite, to bring our gifts and our power as projectors to the world. Now is our time. We have been gifted and honorably take on the incredible role as a projector, a guide, a lead. It's exactly who you're designed to be. It is time to come home to yourself and fly and fly and fly away. So today, projectors, we are going into your authorities. When we understand our authorities, we provide ourselves so much strength, so much support, and so much trust in our world. When we don't understand our authorities, we disengage with trusting ourselves and we go into those little dark corners. We are not holding that personal power and we're waiting for something outside of us in order for us to begin to trust. So the experience we have with our authority, which is your decision-making capabilities internally within yourself, it is not in the mind, it is not in the brain, it is not in logic, it is literally in your energetic DNA. Now, our experience with our authority is going to establish how much trust and personal power we really hold in this world. So this is why it is so imperative for us to begin to form a unity and a relationship with our authority that is fluid, that is clean, that is strong, that is loud, that is powerful, that provides grace, and that we fully, fully, fully trust. When we can trust it, we trust ourselves. If we do not trust it, we do not trust ourselves. So there are 2 questions that I ask all of you to provide, to go into, to dive into. So number 1 is, what authority are you and what experience do you have with moving with it? So I want you to understand what your experience has been. When you look back, right? In our lives, we have always been operating from our authority. We just don't know that we are. So as you look back in your life, what has your experience been? Has it been beautiful? Has it been trustworthy? Has it been powerful? Has it been wobbly? Has it fluctuated? Has it been shamed? You're ashamed of it. Have you quieted it? Have you ignored it? What has that experience really been for you? If you're an emotional authority, how has that impacted you? Now, if you're an emotional authority, you understand the nuance of that question. How has it impacted you? As an emotional authority projector, you hold this whole other element of fear of visibility, of fear of not being good enough, of fear of being overlooked, of fear of not being good enough. Now, with your emotional waves, you're having these waves that are going up and down all the time. So how has that impacted your ability to be seen, heard, and understood, and recognized for who you really are? Has that created a shadow over top of you? Have you avoided being really visible? How has that impacted you? Next question is, what does it feel like when you trust your authority, and how did the experience work out for you? So I want you again to go back in your life, and I want you to look back on times where you're like, oh yeah, that was a splenic hit. I didn't know it then, but I understand that that's what it was. And it worked out beautifully, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. I want you to build as much tangible evidence as we can at the beginning of this program of your trust within your authority and how it worked out in your favor. So write as many of those experiences as you can. Okay, so now I'm going to break down each of the authorities that projectors can potentially have. So you are going to be one of these authorities, okay? So I want you to look at your chart. I want you, it will say right on your chart, mybodygraph.com, it will tell you your authority. And I'm going to go into explaining it a little bit more in depth today. So as an emotional authority, meaning you have your solar plexus filled in. If you are a projector and you have any of the other authorities listed, plus your emotional authority is the authority that we are moving through, okay? So this is the number one, this is your authority. So you are going to be moving through this first, okay? So as an emotional authority, you're moving through waves and emotions consistently, all the time. They do not have meaning as in feelings. We don't want to look for the answers or what's wrong. However, they need to be supported. You're not here to make the decisions while you're in a high or low moving through your waves. You have to wait for the moments of clarity. Now, this can get very confusing as a projector because as you're moving through your waves, it can feel very, again, identity crisis. Like, who am I in this world? You know, I'm showing up in my high highs and then I have these low lows and I don't want to be seen, but I need to be seen. And if you're not able to support your system, your body, your waves, you're going to have a very difficult time showing up and actually being seen, let alone coming to a decision that you trust within yourself. You likely have felt that you have made a lot of mistakes in your life, that you have had a very difficult time connecting with people, that you have been very overwhelming and not really seen for who you are, like you have this shadow over top of you. So it's so important for projectors to understand that as our systems are naturally more sensitive, the waves are going to create even more sensitivity for you. So you have to give yourself even more self-care and support and rest and honor these waves. Now, if you look at your solar plexus, you will have at least one colored in channel coming out. So I've posted a picture in the PDF of what that looks like. You will have one or more. Okay, so I'm going to go over what these waves mean and what they are for you. So if you have 6 coming out of it, filled in, meaning colored in, whether it is partially or full, this is part of your wave, okay? So a 6 is a subtle wave, so it may not be extremely noticeable that you're an emotional authority, especially if you only have this one filled in. You're much more calm in a wave, and your wave actually pulls people in because you desire intimacy. However, what can happen is that when it is the wrong place, the wrong time, and a lower wave, you have a lot of friction that can be created with other people. So it is very important for you to be able to move in and out of relations with people and know that you are, again, not meant to be making decisions while you're in a wave. You have to be coming to these moments of clarity. So it is more important for you guys to actually start to tune in to what these emotions are and what these waves are, because they are so subtle, but it is critical that you understand what the emotional waves are for you. Now, if you have 37 or 49, this is a build-up wave. So it builds and builds and builds until it's too much and it explodes. So this is kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, right? So if you're in a relationship with someone, they've likely said to you, you know, like, where did that come from? All of a sudden, there's this big issue. You know, you come out with these big emotions, but it seems like such a small thing that you're, you know, having this big emotional reaction to. Now, the thing is, again, you're not actually having the reaction to the thing. It's just in your body, your system is going, okay, more and more and more. And then all of a sudden it explodes. So it has this buildup. It's really important for you to be able to support this wave as early on as possible. As you feel the tension building, as you feel, you know, the frustration and the bitterness and the inside your body, you can connect with touch, which is very helpful, or pull back with alone time. 2255 is these heart rate spikes. So if you're looking at a heart rate monitor, this is what they look like. So it's even most of the time. So again, you may really resonate with having a smaller emotional reaction in a wave, but it goes up and it peaks with really intense spikes and then down really low. So these ups and downs are very intense. You have to be very aware of socializing or alone time, of when you're going to be with people or away from people. And again, notice that it can come out of nowhere, right? All of a sudden you have this huge emotional output that you need to get out. So it's important for you to really take the time to connect with yourself in that exact moment. Otherwise, it can be very responsive to or reactive to other people. And again, it's not about anyone else, it's about you. So if you have 30 or 36, it's this cliff. So everything is going great. Like you're going up this hill. It's like great and great and great. And then bam, you're at the edge of the hill and you jump off the cliff. So it's all about really big desires and feelings here. And the fall leans heavily into the expectation. So you have these really big expectations of things that are going really well. And then all of a sudden you drop off. So you really need to support yourself by releasing those expectations and being super aware of where you're putting pressure or expectations on yourself, or the great things that are going on in your life, or things that actually didn't work out. So again, for emotional authorities, it's not really about the emotions or the waves meaning anything, but we want to be able to identify what that looks like in our human experience. We are not making any decisions as emotional authority inside a wave. We are coming to the moments of clarity when you are finally at a place of evenness and you do not feel a high or a low. So you want to give it at least, 24 hours. When you become more practiced within your design, it will likely be less time, but at least 24 hours for a buffer. Okay, so next is going to be your splenic authorities. I am a splenic authority. So a splenic authority feels like the soft whisper of knowing and guidance, very deeply connected as intuition, and deeply moving with fear. So as a splenic authority myself, it took a very long time for me to actually trust what I was hearing. Very long time. And I would hear it. I can go back in moments of life and I can hear it very clearly now, but it seems so against what other people want you to do and how you're expected to show up in the world. And it's a fear of really letting your desires be heard, but intuitively you know what to do. So as splenic authorities, we really need to listen to that soft whisper. We have to be able to start to connect to hearing it. And then we have to start moving with it because it's our guidance system. As we move with it, we are going to feel immense fear over and over and over and over again. That will not go away. But the thing about the splenic authority is that as we move with the fear, on the other side of the fear, if we go with it, is everything we desire. So it's really this ability to trust something that feels so small, but will provide us the biggest dreams that we have. And we have to hold enough personal power to actually move with those fears. Okay, so next is ego. So that's looking at your heart center. So ego authority is very simple. You will either have the will to do something or you won't. It very much sounds like I want. However, it's very much for the collective. So this can come out as a very selfish feeling authority, a very all about you. And as a projector, we don't like it to be all about us, right? Or we've been shamed when it has been. So as an ego authority projector, it would likely have been very difficult for you to actually admit and go after what you want. But it comes in at you where you're like, yeah, I want to do that, or no, I don't. So it's quite clear for you. However, you have to let yourself either speak it out, talk about it, or acknowledge that you do or don't want it, that you do have the willpower or you don't. So, and also being able to really own the power of your decisions, of what you want to do, what you will do, and what you will not do. Otherwise, you go into a lot of people-pleasing tendencies. Next one is self-projected authority. So this is connecting your G center and your throat. So here you have to speak it out. As the G center is guiding your direction, your next steps, where you're going, you have very clear ability to know what's next for you. However, you need to speak it out. You need to talk about it. You have to let yourself get that out, right? To speak it, and you're going to hear it, and you're going to know it, and it's going to be very clear. It will also come out in your conversations with other people as like, oh, this is what I want to do, or this is what I need to do. So it's very direct, it's very clear, but you have to let those emotions, those feelings, those thoughts spill out for you, right? Because the G center knows what it wants, where it's going to go, but you have to let yourself hear it. Again, almost that visibility piece for you, right? That tangible, like, oh yeah, that's the thing. So next one is a mental projector sounding board authorities. Okay, so there's various combinations here, but if you have anything defined above your throat and above, you will be a mental projector sounding board authority, also known as environmental. So, mental projector, environmental sounding board authority. So you have a lot going on in your head and you have to speak it out too. So you have to begin to talk. These are the people that are going to have so much strategy, so much logical thought, so much, worry or concern or overthinking, and you have to get it out of your head. If you do not get it out, you're not going to come to your answer and you're going to drive yourself crazy. For all of them that are speaking it out, for the authorities, you need to make sure you're speaking it to somebody that is not going to persuade, convince, or be too engaged in your decision-making abilities, right? Or the decision that you're coming to. It needs to be someone that is completely open and clear and able to hold space for you to just talk and not really have an answer back, right? Because it's all about you coming to the decision and answer yourself. So, beautiful projectors, in your intro, I want to know what your authority is, obviously who you are, what your energy type is, what your chart is telling you about you, what you do in this world, what you're desiring from PPP, and where you're feeling resistance. I love you. Have a beautiful day. I cannot wait to hear all about your decision-making abilities, process, and to be building more trust in.